AITA for finally telling my daughter. The truth that her mom cheated on me after she disrespected my girlfriend by calling her an OnlyFans chick? I never thought it would be my own daughter who'd push me to finally tell the truth. I'm 49th, divorced, burned out, and honestly, still trying to pick up the pieces of a marriage that fell apart years ago. Emily, my ex-wife, and I were together for a long time. 2 kids, a life, a home, and then she cheated. Not once. Not some emotional oops with a coworker. She cheated with multiple men, like our vows were a joke. I didn't go scorched earth after the divorce. I didn't tell the kids what she did. I figured they were better off not knowing. Let them keep their version of their mom intact. They already saw the marriage end. Why ruin her in their eyes too? But maybe that was my mistake. Nick, my son, 22 now, stayed close to her. Always been her boy. Skylar, my daughter, who's 19 now, used to be close with me. We were tight. But after the divorce, she drifted. Took her mom's side without knowing the real reason why we broke. And I never corrected it. I just took the hit. Let them believe I was the one who broke things. Recently, I started seeing someone. Lisa. She's 54, but you wouldn't guess it. She's full of life, confident, and yeah, she turns heads. Dresses bold, speaks her mind, and she's fun. In a way I forgot people could be. When I introduced Lisa to the kids, Nick was cool about it. He actually liked her, talked to her, joked around. But Skylar? She looked like she was watching a car crash in slow motion. Didn't say much that day, just had that face. You know the one. Judging. Dismissive. I let it slide. Then a few days later, it came out. Skylar and I were in the kitchen. I was just pouring coffee, talking about something random, and she just hit me with it, completely out of nowhere. She looks like an OnlyFans chick. That stopped me cold. I looked up, trying to figure out if she was joking. She wasn't. Her face was stone, like she meant it, like she wanted to say something that would cut. And she did. If you knew Skylar, you'd understand how off that was. That's not her. She doesn't talk like that. At least she never used to. But this? It wasn't just disrespectful. It was poison, and I knew exactly where it came from. I stood there for a second, letting it hit. Then I looked right at her. Skylar, I said, calm but firm. Your mom was the one who cheated on me. Lisa came into my life after the divorce. I didn't do anything wrong. Her expression changed. Just like that. Her eyes kind of dropped, like someone had just unplugged her. She just said, "Oh," and went quiet. Then she left the room. That was it. No yelling, no back and forth, just silence. And for the first time, I realized how deep the lie had gone. Not the one I told, the one I didn't. After she walked out of that room, I stood there like a statue. Coffee in my hand, heart in my throat. It's wild how fast a moment can flip everything. 1 second you're a dad trying to keep peace. Next second you're wondering if your silence for all those years did more damage than the truth ever could have. She didn't come out of her room that night. Didn't even make a sound. I wanted to knock, to talk. But I knew better. Skylar's like me. When she shuts down, she shuts down. So I waited. Next day, still nothing. So I did what felt stupid, but also right. I messaged her. My daughter sitting in the same house, just a few steps away, and I'm texting her like some stranger. I just said, "I'm here when you're ready to talk. No pressure." A couple of hours passed. Then my phone buzzed. She replied. Not with a few words. No okay or cool. It was a damn essay, paragraphs. I could tell she wrote it earlier, probably rewrote it a few times. You could feel the guilt in the way it started soft, like she was walking on broken glass she helped lay down. She said she was sorry. Said she didn't mean what she said about Lisa. Not really. She said she repeated it because her mom and her aunt had said those kinds of things. She thought it was true. Thought Lisa was just some woman I ran off with. That's when my stomach turned. She said she always believed I cheated, that I had ruined the family, that everything her mom told her over the years made it sound like I was the villain. And Lisa was just the younger woman I threw it all away for. She said she felt embarrassed, said she was mad at herself for repeating the words like they were hers when they weren't. They were her mom's, her aunt's. And now she had to sit with that shame. She said she wasn't mad at me anymore. She said Lisa seemed wonderful. Said she saw it now. The way I looked happier, lighter. That Lisa didn't deserve what was said about her. And then she said something that broke me a little. I want to talk about this face to face. Not yet, but when I can say it without crying. That hit me. Hard. Because that's my girl. That's Skylar, the real her. Not the version her mom twisted. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was getting my daughter back. Piece by piece. The next few days? Quiet. Not peaceful quiet. Heavy quiet. The kind where someone's thinking too much and you can feel it in the walls. She stayed in her room mostly. I'd hear her walking around, opening the fridge, microwave dinging. But we didn't cross paths. Not once. I didn't push. I gave her space. I meant what I said. I'd be here when she was ready. But that silence? It messed with me. I kept replaying her message over and over in my head. Her words about being embarrassed, thinking I was the one who cheated, how her mom and aunt planted all those lies. I should have cleared it all up years ago, but I didn't. I thought I was protecting her. Truth is, I was protecting Emily. And for what? So she could poison my daughter against me while smiling in her face? Nah. Lisa noticed too. She could tell something was off in the house. She didn't say much, just gave me that look like, do what you gotta do, I'll be here. That's one of the things I respect most about her. She doesn't insert herself where she doesn't belong. She knows this thing with Skylar. It's mine to fix. A few days passed. Then finally, one night I heard a knock on my bedroom door. It opened real slow. Skylar peeked in, eyes puffy, no makeup, just her hoodie and socks, like she was 10 years old again, sneaking into our room after a nightmare. "Can I sit?" she asked. I nodded. Didn't say a word. Just slid over on the bed. She sat down, stared at her hands for a minute, then looked up. And the first thing out of her mouth? I hate that she lied to me. That was it. No build-up, just straight to it. She said it felt like her whole foundation cracked. That for years she thought I was some cheating, selfish asshole who left her mom for a woman with fake nails and tight dresses. And now she realizes she'd been fed that version of me on purpose. She told me so many times that you didn't love her anymore, that you checked out, that you were always looking at other women. I just nodded, took it in. I wasn't gonna defend myself. I didn't need to. The truth was already doing its work. Then she said something that damn near broke me. I wasted so much time being mad at you for nothing. I felt my throat tighten, but I held it together. Sky, none of that's your fault. She nodded, tears in her eyes. Then she asked the question I always hoped she'd never have to. Why didn't you tell me? And I swear I had no good answer. I just told her the truth, that I wanted to protect her, that I didn't want her to think badly of her mom, that I thought she was too young. But mostly, I didn't want to be the dad who trashed his ex to his kid. I didn't want to be that guy. But now I see, maybe staying quiet made me that guy anyway. She leaned her head on my shoulder, said she needed time, said she was still angry, not at me, but at how long the lie lasted. But she said she wanted to get to know Lisa, actually know her, not just what she'd heard. I told her that meant more than she knew. And for the first time in years, I felt like maybe, just maybe, I was getting my daughter back. After that night, things changed. But slowly. You don't just hit reset on years of anger and lies. You unlearn it, piece by piece. And that's what Skylar was doing, trying to untangle the mess her mom fed her for years. And I could see it. The way she was watching me differently now. Not suspicious anymore. More like curious. Like she was re-meeting her own father. She started coming out of her room more, sitting at the table longer, asking casual questions about Lisa. Nothing deep, just testing the waters. And Lisa? She played it perfectly. She didn't try too hard, didn't try to win Skylar over. She just existed around her. Casual, kind, not trying to prove anything. That made a bigger difference than any speech ever could have. Then came the next twist. Emily called me. Angry. I can't believe you told her that. I didn't even flinch. I didn't tell her anything that wasn't true. She's not talking to me, Emily snapped. She won't return my texts. She's embarrassed. She's ashamed. I almost said, yeah, maybe you should be too. But I bit my tongue. I just said, she needed the truth. That's it. Emily's voice shifted, all defensive, emotional. She started saying how hard it was being a single mom, how she made mistakes, how the past should stay in the past. You had your chance to come clean, I said. You didn't. She went quiet for a second. Then she hit me with, you still loved me back then. That's why you didn't tell them. That one caught me off guard, because in some messed up way, she wasn't wrong. Back then, even after she cheated, even after the marriage ended, part of me still cared about her. Not in a get back together way, but in a I don't want the kids to hate their mom kind of way. That's what kept me quiet. But now, I didn't owe her silence anymore. This wasn't about her reputation. This was about my daughter finally understanding the real story, not the twisted version whispered into her ear for years. Later that week, Skylar came up to me while I was watching TV. I messaged Mom, she said. Told her I needed space, that I'm not ready to talk. I looked up, searching her face. She looked calm, not angry, just clear. I asked if she was okay, and she just nodded and said, I feel like I've been gaslit since I was 14. That hit me like a brick, because she had been, and I'd let it happen, thinking silence was safer than truth. She said she wanted to go for coffee with Lisa, just the two of them, said she owed her that. I didn't say much, just smiled. That was huge. Sometimes the road to fixing something doesn't come with a grand gesture. It's small. A message, a cup of coffee, a conversation that doesn't end in yelling. This was the start of that. The day Skylar met Lisa for coffee, I was nervous. Not gonna lie. Felt like I was back in high school waiting on a girl to text me back. Except this time, it was my daughter, and it mattered a hell of a lot more. They were gone for like an hour and a half, longest 90 minutes of my life. I didn't call, didn't text, just waited. When she came back, I tried to play it cool, but my eyes shot to hers the second she walked through the door. She gave me a half smile. It went okay, she said. I nodded. Just okay? She shrugged. She's not what I thought. That meant everything. She went on to say Lisa didn't try to defend herself or talk bad about her mom. She just shared her story, how she met me after the divorce, how she never tried to replace anyone, how she knows what people probably assume about her based on how she looks. And she gets it. Skylar told me something Lisa said that really stuck with her. She said, I don't expect you to love me. I just hope one day you'll see me for who I actually am, not what someone else told you to think. That line hit Skylar, because for the first time, she saw how unfair she'd been. She said, I judged her without knowing anything about her, just like I judged you. Man, hearing that from her, that was years of pain cracking open and letting a little light in. Skylar didn't say everything was fine. She didn't suddenly flip and call Lisa her stepmom or start hugging me like a movie ending. But she did say this: "I think you deserve to be happy, and I think I've been standing in the way of that." I couldn't speak for a minute, just nodded, trying to keep my face steady. You don't realize how deep some wounds go until someone starts stitching them up with honesty. Later that night, Skylar sat next to me on the couch. We didn't even talk. We just watched something dumb on Netflix. But she leaned her head on my shoulder halfway through. That small thing? It meant everything. She wasn't just tolerating me. She was trying again, not out of guilt, out of understanding. And that hits different. Weeks passed. Not everything was magically fixed. This wasn't some TikTok reel where everyone hugs it out and boom, healed. But there was peace. That quiet kind. The kind that hits after years of walking on eggshells. You start breathing a little easier, sleeping better, laughing more. Skylar didn't move out. She stayed. She started inviting me into her world again, asking for rides, showing me funny videos, sending me memes. Little stuff, but real stuff. The kind of things we used to do before it all fell apart. Lisa? She didn't change either. She stayed chill, kind, respectful. She gave Skylar space, but she was always present. One night, we were all sitting at the table. Takeout boxes everywhere. Skylar was telling a story, laughing. Lisa added a joke that landed perfectly. Skylar cracked up. Genuinely. That laugh? That wasn't forced. That was a wall finally falling. And I just sat there watching them, thinking, damn, this could have all gone so differently. If I had kept lying. If I had just kept swallowing the truth to keep the fake peace. But nah. Sometimes you gotta break the silence to break the cycle. A few days later, Skylar told me she finally talked to her mom again. She said, "We talked." But I told her I needed her to own it. And she didn't. So I ended the call. I didn't say anything, just looked at her. And she said, "I don't hate her. I just see her clearly now. And I think that's enough." Brother, that right there? That's years of confusion turned into clarity. Years of feeling like she had to pick a side. Finally replaced by just wanting peace. Lisa didn't become her second mom. She didn't need to. Skylar just saw her as a woman her dad loved. A woman who treated her with respect, and that was enough. As for me, I finally felt like I could stop apologizing for being happy. You know, people say time heals everything. But that's a damn lie. Time doesn't heal. Truth does. Understanding does. Owning your pain does. This wasn't a perfect story, but it was real. A daughter found clarity. A father reclaimed his voice. And a family, even if fractured, found a new kind of balance. Not everything heals the way you want it to, but sometimes it heals just enough, and that's more than enough to move forward. If this story hit you in the heart even a little, like the video, drop a comment, and if you don't want to miss the next one, subscribe and turn on that bell. I'll see you in the next story.